Are you ready for 2 more in section 3? Hey everyone, Cristin here, and as you know, we are working on our Enchanted Winter quilt with our wonderful sponsor, Daylily Fabric Shop. So I was looking and I was thinking, I thought we were further along in section 3. We have 3 blocks done in section 3, which is great. Right? Yeah. No, more. Ooh, there are more. I thought there should be more. Okay, good. That makes me feel better. All right. Sorry, I should have made that a blooper, but I'm just going to keep rolling with it. So we have all of section 1 and section 2 complete, and they are beautiful. The monograms that you guys did on section 2, I'm so loving it. They're so pretty. Everything that you guys are adding to it, super fun. And Carol, she's adding all kinds of stuff and like using all of her own fabrics, and it's so unique and so fun to see. I'm loving this quilt, absolutely loving it. Gotta reach for my book here, sorry. All right, so we have all of section 1, section 2, and then we have, it's funny, I was thinking we only had 3, and I was like, golly, it feels like we should have more, and we do have more because we're just awesome. So we have our pine tree block. You can see it got a little smooshed in my thing because it didn't realize we were there. So pine tree, and then the floral heart, and then we also have the snowbird. So cute. I love that. So pretty. And then our ice skates, our vinyl covered ice skates. Isn't that so fun? I love those. And then we have our corner block. So our corner piece block. So what is that? 5 blocks. 5 blocks. That's way better than I was thinking when I started this video. I'm very happy with this. Do you do a little jig? All right, so 5 blocks out of 12. There are 12 blocks in section 3, and we have 5 done. So that's good. I'm pretty happy with that. How about 2 more today? What do you think? We can totally do this, right? So I'm thinking we start with Tundra Rose. Tundra Rose. And I have to say, as a reminder, hopefully this is a reminder, there's a couple of people in the group that have already done Tundra Rose, and that's totally fine. Your quilt, your way, do it at your own pace, but I don't comment on those. And I try to comment on all of the posts that for Enchanted Winter and say, oh, good job, and all our admins are doing it and people in the group are doing it, and it's just so fun to see. But I do not comment on the ones that if you've gone ahead of the group, totally fine, but I don't comment because what it does is it pulls everyone. When I comment on something, everyone sees it, and then I get bombarded with questions. When did we do this one? I didn't see this video, blah, 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 and it's overwhelming. So I don't comment on it. So you do this at your own pace, but I'm not going to comment on those. So just a reminder for that. All right, so Tundra Rose, it is on page 20. It's for section 3, Tundra Rose, and there's a few applique pieces, not too bad. So I'm thinking we can do 2 today, right? All right, so let's go ahead and go over what we need for today. So for Tundra Rose, we are going to start with our main fabric. Our main fabric is this teal fabric with blue snowflakes, sunburst, something, I don't know what you call them. It's actually going to go this way. It's a pretty big piece of fabric, as you can see. So make sure to back this with fusible stabilizer, as I always recommend on your main fabric. All right, I do it on pretty much everything, but at least do it on your main fabric. Stabilize it. All right, so we are going to start with this at 10.5 by 6.5. It's a big piece, 10.5 by 6.5. All right, that's for our main fabric. And then we have it looks like 3 applique pieces. So for the bloom, the bloom is this lavender, and it is basically the flower part. So this lavender silky solid, no design to it. We're going to start with this at 2.5 by 2.5. And what does it say? Iron fusible backing to the wrong side of the background fabric. Oh, just the background. It doesn't say to do it on the applique pieces, and I did. So that's funny. I didn't catch that. But I did, and I think it's totally fine. I think we'll be all right. All right, so what did I say? Bloom 2.5 by 2.5, all right? And choose to back it or not. It does not say to, all right? So up to you. 2.5 by 2.5, that's for the bloom of the flower. And then we have, it's like a sage green, silky solid, no design to it. And this one is the inner bloom, and we're gonna have this be 2 by 2, all right? 2 by 2. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer, optional, although it does not say to in the book. 2 by 2 for the inner bloom. And then we have the leaves, and this is the last one. So of the leaves, it's that pretty azure color, and it is going to be 3 by 6.5. So that means it goes this way, but when you see the block, it actually goes this way. So it should say 6.5 by 3. All right. 3 by 6.5 or 6.5 by 3, however you want to see it. All right, and I did back mine with fusible stabilizer, but it does not say to do that in the book, so optional, up to you. All right, leaves 3 by 6.5, which would make it this way. All right, so then we have our batting. So our batting today is going to be 5 by 9. All right, so it's really 9 by 5 because the block goes this way. So 9 by 5 for your batting. All right, and then we are going to quilt this one with plant 15. That's a good one for this. Plant 15 in a 4 by 8 quilting design. All right, not directional. 4 by 8 plant 15 for our quilting design today. All right, and then there's some special trim instructions. Basically, we're going to put a couple of the pop rollers together and cut parts, like the top and the bottom, not the sides. I'll go over that step by step. You never have to worry about anything. I go through it all step by step. All right, so that's the first block, 3 applique pieces, very doable. So I'm thinking we add and do a little bit more today. So this will depend on your hoop size, of course. So like I said, that quilting design is 4 by 8. The next one is also 4 by 8. So that means we need at least a 9 by 9 hoop. And that's very likely what I'm going to do. I haven't looked at it yet, but I will look at it when we go over to the computer. So you can do them separately or you can do them together. If you have a larger hoop, you can do one today, do one tomorrow, work at your own pace, whatever works for you. All right, so the next one is pine tree. All right, pine tree 3. There's been 2 other pine trees. So pine tree 3 on page 29 for section 3. And this one, there's not much to it. But there will be a lot of cutting. So those trees, depending on how detailed they are, they can be pretty time consuming for the cutting. So I'm just going to switch to page 29 real quick so I can give you all the details. So we are going to start with this aqua Tundra fabric. All right, isn't that pretty? I love that one. So this one, we're going to have it be 6.5 by 10.5 to start with, and back this with fusible stabilizer as always. 6.5 by 10.5 fused with fusible stabilizer. And let's see, iron fusible back into the wrong side of the background fabric and the trunk fabric. All right, so obviously not the tree. I'll show you why in a minute. All right, so 6.5 by 10.5 for our main fabric. And then we have the trunk fabric, and the trunk is a brown silky solid, no design to it. All right, back it with fusible stabilizer. This one is 1.5 by 3, 1.5 by 3 for the trunk of the tree. All right, and then in our embellishment kit, this is in our embellishment kit, we have navy flocked vinyl tree. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I opened it up. I opened the little corner so I could see it. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat, pretty fun. So this is like the other vinyls. It's got that topping on it. So make sure to take the topping off. And then it's this navy. It's like soft. It's interesting. It's almost like cork. Like it makes me think of cork for some reason, but it's got this, let's see, this is interesting. So one side is, I don't know what you call it, the vinyl-y. It's got that topping, and we will take that topping off, but one side is slick, and then one side is not. One side is the soft side. So we'll go over all of that when we get there. I'm assuming we're going to put the soft side up because it does say it's flocked vinyl. So I'm not sure, I assume, but we'll find out when we get there. All right, so we're going to start with this at 4.5 by 7.5. Like I said, it is in your embellishment kit. You are not going to stabilize this or do anything like that other than take off that topping. All right, and we will iron it down when we get there, and I'll tell you about that when we get there. It says to make sure not to skip that step. And then we'll take off that plastic film. And then there's also the special trim instructions. Since it's a narrow block, we'll do some special trimming with our pop rulers or whatever works for you. All right, so grab that out of your embellishment kit for that navy flocked vinyl. All right, and then we have our batting. I almost forgot our batting. So our batting is going to be 5 by 9. 5 by 9, so that means we want a 4 by 8 quilting design. So 5 by 9 for your batting, and then our quilting design is going to be tree 4. Oh, that'll be pretty. So it says to use pale mist. I think I'll probably use a darker one because I like the tree to stand out when it's a tree block and it's got tree quilting. I think that would be cute to have it stand out a little bit, but I'll decide when I get there, and you always have the option. I'll always tell you what the book recommends and which one I'm going to change it to. All right, so tree 4 in a 4 by 8 quilting design in horizontal. Tree 4, 4 by 8 horizontal. That's our quilting design for the Pine Tree 3 block. All right, so 2 easy blocks, not too difficult, and I'm going to bring you over to the computer and show you how to join them together. Hey everyone, so 2 blocks today, so I'm going to show you how to join them together in one hoop if you choose and if you have a large enough hoop. So pretty simple, I think, hopefully. Let's see. So I'm going to open up Embroidery Essentials. Actually, I've got some other things open. Let me close all of these. I worked on a project yesterday that I am excited to show you, but not quite yet. All right, so file, new page. All right, so it opens up to my 6 by 10 hoop. Let's make this fit better. All right, 6 by 10 is the hoop that I'm on. I know I'm going to need bigger. If you have a 10 by 10 hoop, you probably won't have any overlap. I'm going to use my 9 by 9 since that's a little more common for most people. So I'm going to come up here to this preferences folder and click on my 9 by 9 hoop and say okay. And then I'm going to click on this compass button and click on H for hoop to have it zoom into that hoop. All right, so you can see down here at the bottom, I'm on my 9 by 9 hoop now. So I'm going to start by bringing in the quilting design on the first one, which is that Tundra Rose. So I'm going to click on a folder and shrink this down a bit. Let's see. Just so I can see everything. And I'm going to go to my Enchanted Winter. Let's see. All right, so it's just asking, where is this folder that you want me to open? So I'm going to open up the quilting bundle right there. And then our first one is Plant 15. Embroidery files, block by block, Pez is what I use. And then we wanted a, what was it, 4 by 8. 4 by 8, Plant 15. So I'm going to grab that and drag it over. All right, and that one is ready. We're going to make some changes to the colors and all that, but first I'm going to bring in that flower design to have it go on top while it's here so I can center it. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, go back to my Enchanted Winter and then find the designs, embroidery files, Paz, and we're looking for the Tundra Rose. It's a 5 by 7 Tundra Rose. So there's Tundra Florals and Tundra Rose. Make sure to click on the Tundra Rose. Click on that, drag it over. And again, you can do it by this way with the folder. I find it a little bit quicker, or you can go to this Merge Stitch File button and navigate to where you have that folder. All right, so you can see that this is centered and we want both files centered in the hoop. So we should be all good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on these 2 items. So I'm going to click from the bottom and drag up. I'm in the objects window and I'm going to say, I think it's edit group, so that I can move this out of the way. All right, and we're going to make all those changes and do all those things, but first I'm going to bring in what we need. All right, so then I'm going to go to the next one, which is not there. All right, Pine Tree 3. So I'm going to open up that folder again and I'm going to navigate back to my quilting files, and we'll have to reorder the steps because right now that I want my quilting to be together and it's not at this point. All right, so Enchanted Winter Quilting Bundle, and this one was Tree 4, embroidery files, block by block, Pez is what I use. And then we want the 4x8 tree 4 and a horizontal. So 4x8 tree 4 horizontal. Click on that, drag it over. It goes to the center. And then I'm going to go ahead, while I'm here, I'm going to go back to the files right there, final folder, embroidery files, Pez, and we want Pine Tree 3 in a 6x10, Pine Tree 3, right there, Pine Tree 3, 6x10, drag it over, it goes to the center so that those are lined up nicely. And the others we had to, there was a placement stitch so that the tree trunk was in the seam allowance, and this one it's not. That's interesting, but we're good. Yep, center, good. Okay, so I'm going to click on, I'm going to click down here. I'm in the objects window. I'm going to click down from the bottom and click on 3 and 4 so that those two are selected, and I'm going to click edit group. All right, and that just makes it so that I can move things around. You got to click on the stitching. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get these lined up where I want them, and then I'll start changing the colors. Make sure you're not over the hoop. All right, and then this one, same thing. And you can see why I was saying if you have a 10x10, you'll have like no overlap probably, but this one will definitely have some overlap. So the fabric is 6.5 inches, and this quilting file is 4.5. So we'll have about an inch of overlap, and that's fine. But if it stresses you out, go to a bigger hoop or do them separately. All right, so I'm going to close these up just so I can see everything. And we want to change the colors in the quilting design, but I also want to reorder. See how we've got quilting flower, quilting tree. I want quilting together. So I'm going to click on number 3, and then I'm going to right click on it and say move earlier. All right, so now I've got quilting, rose, and then tree. So that's much better. And I'm going to test something today. I'm not going to change. There are applique pieces in here, and I'm assuming those might join. I don't know. So anyway, let's start with the quilting first. I'm going to open up number 1. I do that by clicking this plus sign. It opens it so that I can see all the parts. And then I'm just going to change these colors so there isn't, I can have the parts join that I want to join. So I'm going to click on 1-1, click on the color down here in the properties window, and I'm going to choose the first color that comes up for me. It doesn't matter. I just want to have them join. So I want to be able to have the same colors. All right, so I'm choosing Oriental Blue and saying okay. And then 1-2, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Pumpkin. And then 1-3, click on the color. I'm going to choose the second color down. For me, that is Bluebird. Say okay. And then 1-4, click on the color. I'm going to choose Jubilee and say okay. And then 1-5, click on the color. I'm going to choose Sprout. All right, and that one's done. Now I'm going to open up this number 2 by clicking on this plus sign, and I'm going to change the colors to the same, except for that quilting design. I want to stop so that I can choose my thread color at that point. So I'm going to click on 2-1, click on the color, and I'm going to choose the same colors that I have up here. So I want Oriental Blue, and then 2-2, click on the color. I want Pumpkin. 2-3, click on the color. I want Bluebird. You can always see your colors right here if you forget what you used. 2-4, click on the color, and I want Jubilee. And then 2-5, click on the color, and I want the second color down. For me, that's Sea Mist. All right, so those are done. Now I'm closing them just so I can see everything. So here we've got Robin Egg, Halloween, Amethyst, Pale Mist. We've got a lot of Robin Eggs. So we have to change some colors in here. Otherwise, those will all join, and we don't want those to join. That's because of the applique pieces. All right, so I'm going to click, let's see, we've got Robin Egg, Halloween, Amethyst, Pale Mist, then Robin Egg. So on the second Robin Egg, 3-5, I'm going to click on that, click on the color, and I'm going to choose a different color. I'm going to use Grotto Blue. Say okay, and then 3-6, that Halloween is already there, so we want to change that. Click on that, and I'm going to choose Mars. And then we have Time, Linen, Robin Egg again. There's that Robin Egg, so I need to change that one. That's 3-9. Click on the color, and I already used Robin Egg and Grotto Blue, so I'm going to choose Brittany Blue. And then that Halloween is there again, 3-10. Click on the color, and I'm going to use Sunkissed Peach. And then we have Azure. There's Pale Mist again. We already have Pale Mist earlier, so we want to change that, and the linen. It looks like Pale Mist, linen, Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and change these colors just so that they don't join with the ones up here. So I'm going to click on 312, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Magic Mint, the second color down. I could probably use Filtech Glide. So this says Glide and this says Filtech Glide, so that's interesting. I'm just going to change it to Magic Mint. And then Linen, click on the color because we've already got it up here. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to change it to Cornflower. All right, so that one is done. I'm going to close that one. And then this Pine Tree, Design 4, we have Robin Egg and Halloween twice. So I'm going to change the second one. So I'm going to click on 4-4, click on the color, and I'm going to change it to Grotto Blue. We did use that earlier, but since it's in a different design, I don't know if it will join. It probably will. I'm going to test this though. I'm not absolutely sure. So I'm going to say okay. So you can wait before you change your colors and see if it's successful. All right, and then 4-5, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Mars and say okay. All right, and it's an easy fix. I would just change them from what they are existing, but I'm gonna I just want to test it. All right, so I have all 4 of these. I'm gonna choose a color sort, and I'm assuming it won't be successful, and I'll come back to this tab, but we'll see. So right now we have 29 color steps. So I'm gonna do a utility color sort. And it's reduced it by 6. And I think that's probably too many. It should be more like 4. So I'm not sure. We'll see. Don't forget, you want these same settings that I have. Click New View. It opens a new tab. So on this first tab, which on yours it'll say Entitled 1. You saw I closed some tabs earlier. That's why we're on 4. But it's got all the 4 steps. And then in the new tab, everything is down to 1 design. And that's why I think it's probably joined some things it shouldn't have. So let's just check. So we have the placement for the batting, those are together, the tack down for the batting, the placement for the main fabric, and the tack down for the main fabric. And then we have the first quilting design and the second quilting design. Those are all perfect. And then here we have, so there it is. So there's the placement stitch for the Tundra Rose Bloom, I think it was called, and then the tree stump. And I don't want those together. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change some more colors. That's what I wanted to test, is if it would pick it up even though they were in different sections. So I'm going to close this Untitled 5. I don't want this one. It did not do what I wanted to do because I didn't do it. I didn't work it hard enough. So I'm going to go back to this first one. And I've pointed this out in videos before. If you ever come back and your objects window is empty and you're like, what happened? Just click. There they are. Isn't that funny? I don't know why they go away, but it's an easy fix. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and change more of the colors since we already have, what was it, the Robin Egg and Halloween. I'm going to separate them in the second one. So I'm going to open up number 4 and see we have that Robin Egg and Halloween. We also have this Grotto Blue and Mars that I use. So I'm going to change those too while I'm here. Just obviously Brilliance is so specific that you just want to make sure that you're getting all the parts. So I'm going to click on 4-1, click on the color, and make sure not to use a color you already used. So I know I used these first 3, so I'm going to jump to Mercury and say okay. And then 4-2, click on the color, and I used Mars and Sunkissed. I'm going to use Peach and say okay. And then Oyster, I don't think we had somewhere else. I think we're okay. Let's see. I'm just scrolling up to make sure. Yep, Oyster looks okay. Here's that Grotto Blue, and I did use it here, so I do want to change that. So I'm on 4-4. I'm going to click on the color, and I'm going to use Air Force. Pretty, that's nice. All right, and then Mars we should have already used. Let's see, there's Mars right there, so I want to make sure to change that. So I'm on 4-5, click on the color, and I'm going to use orange. Say okay. And then Marlin, I don't think we had anywhere, right? Yep, I think we're okay. That should be everything. Let's just see. We'll test it out and see if we got everything. And that's why it's so important to always click that new view so that you can check it. All right. So now we have, what are we at? We're at 29 color steps. We're going to do a utility color sort. Things, and it's reduced it by 4. So that would be the 4 parts that are the quilting design and not the rest. So we should be okay. I'm going to check it. Make sure you have these same settings. Click New View. It opens a new tab and everything's down to 1 design now.
So placement for the batting, tack down for the batting, placement for the main fabric, tack down for the main fabric, first quilting design, second quilting design. And then we have the placement for that bloom, I think it was called, and tack down for the bloom. And then the detail stitch. I'm surprised it doesn't jump into more of the placements for the, I like to place all the appliques first, but sometimes there's a reason for jumping to the next part. So here we have inner bloom placement, tack down, and then the decorative outline. So it didn't change the order. So that's how Kimberbell has it set up. So that's perfect. All right, and then the rest of it, so you know what it's doing is it's going to run through all of the parts of this rose. So that's perfect. Good, good, good. And then it will jump to the tree after. There's our placement for the leaves and the detail stitch and all those little bits. Good, good, good. All right, so now we have jumped to the tree trunk placement and tack down, and then the satin stitch of the tree trunk. Make sure that we were supposed to do that. Yep. Perfect. All right, and then placement for that vinyl and tack down, and then the detail stitch. All right, and then we will add there's like seed beads or something it was called for that will go on top of that tree, and that's why we have that penguin. If you didn't know this, that penguin needle minder that came well, if you purchase from Daylily Fabric Shop, she gave it to you as a freebie when you bought the bundle. So that we will use, we'll like put it on our clothing and then keep our needle on there while we're working on things when we need to make sure to keep our needle close by. That's what that's for. I think that's pretty fun. So I'm excited to try that out. All right, so this one all worked out perfectly. Like I said, it is going to be a tight fit. So decide for yourself what hoop size that you want to use. My personal preference would be to do a 10 by 10, but since most people have the 9 by 9, I'm going to do that, and I'll show you how I'm going to be careful with my overlap fabrics. So I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, and I'm going to name this. Let's see, I need to get to my folder, Dropbox, Enchanted, and this final folder. Nope, that's our quilting. Sorry, my mistake. Enchanted Winter. Where are you? Down. Oh, it's this one that's little. That's funny. All right, embroidery files, Paz, and I'm going to name this 9 by 9, and then I'm going to name it tree. What was the other one? The floral. What was it called? Floral. Tundra Rose, sorry. I'm just going to say rose tree. So whatever will help you to remember, maybe tree 3, so you remember it's not the earlier ones, whatever works for you. All right, so that is saved. Now I'm going to send it to my machine. I'm going to say utility Wi-Fi to brother, and I'm going to name my design 9 by 9 rose tree, because my machine really likes it to have a name, which is all good, and say okay, and then it should be fine. Yep, file sent to machine. If you don't have that, just save it to a USB stick or save it to your computer so you have it for later, and then transfer it to a USB stick. And I do have a tutorial just on how to do that if you need help with that. All right, and so it's to my machine, so it's time to get stitching.
my shirt today. This is a fun one. So it is warm. So keep in mind, if you live in Florida or somewhere, you probably wouldn't want this one, but it's got like a little fleece lining. It's not super thick. It's not super warm, but it's a really good fit, and it's got a hood, which I really like hoodies, and it's such a cute design. Look at this. This is from, I'm pretty sure it was from Designs by Juju. It says, grow through what you go through. And those of you that know me know I am a big proponent of learning from our experiences. I think that's so important. I think that God gives us these experiences in our lives for us to learn and grow from. And if we don't, then we're going to get it all over again. So that's my personal feeling. I feel pretty strongly about it. So I really like this design. I think it's really fun. And if I recall, all of the designs in this pack are all similar, like wildflowers. I think it's called wildflowers, and it's got little wording that is good. So this is really cute on this sweater on the blue. I absolutely love this. It's like that cornflower azure color that we've been working with. It's a really good sweater. I really like this one a lot. So I will add information underneath this video with a link to the design. I believe it's from Designs by Juju, but I'll add a direct link to the design pack. And then I'll also add over here a link to my Amazon storefront where you can find this sweater and other sweaters and shirts that I have stitched on that I highly recommend. I've also yesterday added little notes, like if you hover over the sweater, it'll say which design I have on it, so that it'll help point you to the sweater that I'm showing you. So anyway, always check my Amazon storefront for different sweaters that I have already embroidered on and things that I recommend. So check out my Amazon storefront. And how are you doing with your goal? So I did not work out yesterday. I meant to. That was the plan. The day just got away from me. I worked too long, all the way up until I needed to take a shower and get ready to go because we had a family gathering last night. And so then I thought, well, we won't be there very long. We'll go to the gym afterward. And then we stayed too long. The day just got away from me. So I did not get a workout yesterday at all. No workout. And that's a bummer. So one thing that exercise, it gives you energy. When I don't exercise, I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do this or that. And it gives you energy. You get these endorphins where you're just like happy and you can handle stress better and all the things. So and you sleep better. There's so many good things about exercise. So I'm definitely going to work out today. I have not yet. I got up and got all ready so that I could film first. So that's my plan, but I am definitely going to work out today. I can't miss 2 days in a row. It can't be done, right? I have to get out and get some exercise today. So I will. I'll ask you guys to hold me accountable, make sure I get it done. So that's the plan. And then the other one of less hand holding, I'm actually doing pretty good. I had a donation come through today with no information, and I just posted in the group and I said, if you want me to send you the freebie, send me the information. I'll be happy to. And I did go through 4 years of spreadsheets to see if she had donated before. So I did do my part, but I don't have any information, so I can't send it. So I'm doing good at taking a step back and relying on the group as well. So the group has been so helpful. So when I do my editing of my videos, I try to turn off notifications so I'm not constantly being interrupted. And so when I get to the group and see the posts and the questions and things, it's funny, like a lot of times people are already answering and helping the person that had a question. And what a blessing. What an absolute blessing. I'm so happy to see that. So the goal is going well, mostly because other people are jumping in and helping, and I'm so thankful. So what are you doing for your goal? I saw a ton of people, their goal is to work on other projects while they're working on Enchanted Winter, and they're posting those pictures, and I'm like, golly, everybody's just jamming. Everybody is staying up with the project and also working on other things in the meantime, and it's so amazing. And here we have Christmas coming up, Thanksgiving first and then Christmas. So family things. And so all of us want to be able to make a little something for our kids and our grandkids. So I'm loving seeing that everybody's working so hard and yet we're working through this project really fast. So tell me how your goal is going. I want to hear about it. It keeps me energized and inspired.